Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the College Football Betting Breakdown Show, courtesy of Scores and Odds. I'm your host, as always, Sean PSU Fans 2 Newsham. Joining me, per usual, is Alex Fearmyturtle Hardin. Alex, today we are going to go over bowl games from the 31st through the 2nd, which will be the end of the playoffs and all of those games as well. How are you feeling going into these ones? We have a bit more better games, but we start out with arguably the worst game of the season.
I'm just so excited to watch Iowa, Kentucky, and like just sweat the 31.5 total. Like, oh man, that just gets the juices going.
It does. So we're going to start out with the TransPerfect Music City Bowl. And let me just say,
this game is not perfect.
So let's just say, like, these teams offensively are absolute terrible anyways. Iowa's without their top two quarterbacks. Kentucky's without Will Levis. Kentucky's without Chris Rodriguez. This game is going to be absolutely atrocious. I will say I do think that there is a lean. I would take Kentucky getting points here because both teams are going to be absolutely embarrassing. So if I'm getting points on anyone, I'll take it because it's going to be terrible. I don't think I would take the under because I just feel like there's going to be like 2 defensive touchdowns in this game, and like there's going to be enough from that pathetic perspective to do that. What I would do is I would find like alt lines to find defensive touchdowns, and I would bet on that because it's going to be vomit inducing. So what's your thoughts on this vomit inducing game?
Yeah, I would agree. Just taking Kentucky, like I'd wait and see if you can grab a 3. Is it 2.5 everywhere? Can you open up the details?
I can do that. Look, 2 to 2.5 everywhere. No.
I would just wait and see if you can grab a 3, take 3. But yeah, it's not going to be pretty. I do think Kentucky is like has a better offense than Iowa. It's a little bit more dynamic, and they do some things like Iowa could legitimately score. Like, I don't know if they're going to score offensive touchdown here, where I think Kentucky might be able to. They have some playmakers.
Yeah, but you're saying that with no Will Levis and no C-Rod.
Yeah, but I mean, Levis, like, he hasn't had a great season either. The C-Rod thing is kind of big, but
that's the number one pick in the NFL draft, Alex, coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get that. But
I saw a tweet the other day. I just saw a random tweet on Twitter. It was like some random person. They're like, Will Levis is the guy that's going to get your entire front office fired. And I can't really disagree with that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Into the next game, we have the All-State Sugar Bowl. We have Alabama against Kansas State. Alabama will be without a lot of people. JoJo Earl is transferring. Trayshawn Holden. Bryce Young is undecided, I think, whether or not he's going to play. There's other guys that could end up opting out for them as well. I would opt out if I was them. I don't really see a point of playing. Most of the Kansas State side is good to go. So I think that I would probably lean Kansas State here, but I don't really want to take them against Alabama. What's your thoughts on the Sugar Bowl?
Yeah, that was my lean as well, Kansas State, and I'm a little bit interested in the money line as well. I'd be curious to see if Bryce Young plays or not. I was expecting this to be at 7 for Bama. Like, it just feels bad taking Kansas State plus 5.5 versus Bama. Like, you know, they have depth, but like I feel better about the team aspect of Kansas State. Like, they have a lot together. Like, they have a solid defense. They can do some things offensively. Bama hasn't been impressive. Like, we know the Bama receivers have been a disaster. Like, I don't know. I'm inclined to probably bet a little bit on Kansas State here. Maybe throw some on the money line and hope Bryce Young sits. But yeah, I'm certainly not loading up on Bama.
Yeah. All right. Next game, we have the college football semifinal at the VRBO Fiesta Bowl.
Boat race.
We have TCU against Michigan. Corum is out for Michigan. Other than that, luckily, we don't have to really worry about opt-outs in the playoffs. So I like Michigan. I think TCU had a horseshoe up their ass all season. Michigan is far and away the better team here. Michigan could just absolutely boat race TCU out. I wish TCU played Georgia. TCU played Georgia, just plow money on them. But I would plow money on Michigan here. TCU is just a much worse team than Michigan. Do you have anything different there?
No, I mean, I saw this line. I was like, okay, yeah, like I would probably bet it up to 10 or like, I don't know. Like, TCU is good. They're not a great team. Michigan, I think, could be a great team, and their defense is quite good. Like, we've seen Tennessee struggle at times, especially the second half of the season, to move the ball, and they just like somehow always get there. I just don't see that happening here. Michigan by multiple touchdowns.
Yep, I agree. Speaking of another game where I really like one side, we have the college football semifinal at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. I really like Georgia. Ohio State really stumbled down the stretch. I thought Penn State was better than Ohio State in the game where they played. It just didn't look very convincing the last month and a half of the season for Ohio State. I think Georgia comes out there and just dominates Ohio State, similarly to how Michigan will dominate TCU. As we see, we have a pick from good old Dan Bach, who likes Ohio State. There's one thing I've learned: you definitely are going to want to bet against Dan Bach here. So I'm definitely going Georgia on this one. What's your thoughts here? We just won't tell Dan Bach that was our
opinion. Yeah, I'm kind of torn on this one, actually. Like, we've seen this time and again, Ohio State get exposed in this spot. However, I think Ohio State's probably a little bit better defensively than they have been in the past, but they are not as good offensively, especially, like, they have great receivers, but, like, they don't have Garrett Wilson, Olave level guys. Also, like, I do agree with Dan that, like, the line is a little bit off here. Like, they seem fine taking a lot of Georgia -6.5, which tells me the books are setting themselves up to be on the Ohio State side in this game. The line's fair. Like, I think ultimately I'm gonna stay away, but I see either side. I don't know if the number should be this high.
Yep, that's fair. All right, on to the next game. We got the ReliaQuest Bowl on ESPN2. Unfortunately, Mike Leach passed away recently. That was very sad news to hear. I know people have different opinions on him. I always find him entertaining. I actually spent a night just reading all the different Mike Leach stories out there. I don't know if you did, but, like, there's so many interesting stories about Mike Leach. I would probably lean up Illinois in this game due to just the situation going on with Mississippi State. But I don't really want to talk tons about it because obviously the situation is unfortunate why I would say that. But that's my opinion on this one. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough game to handicap. Like, it's a tough to gauge how teams will respond. Like, I just don't really have an interest in, like, participating in this game in any way. Like, I feel bad for the kids, bad for everyone around that program. So, yeah, that's just kind of where it is.
All right, on to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. I'll let you go first here. What's your thoughts with this one?
Man, I want to know if Caleb Williams is going to play. Like, he had a pulled hamstring a month ago. He keeps telling people that he's expecting to play here. Like, I don't really know why he wants to play here so bad. And Tulane's been really impressive down the stretch. Like, I want to back them if Caleb Williams is out, but I don't think we know that at this point, really. Like, I just don't know why he would push it on, like, a pulled hamstring. Apparently it was pretty severe.
The betting odds here, I don't think this game would be 2.5 if Caleb Williams was expected to play.
I don't think so either. So it makes me think he's not going to play. I would lean Tulane, but obviously, I mean, it's a pretty short number. But, like, Caleb Williams was their offense this year, and without him, I would probably take some Tulane money line. I like what they have done this year.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, especially no Caleb Williams, no Travis Dye. Travis Dye was a big part of their offense too. So I think that USC likely is missing quite a bit here. So I'd probably lean Tulane as well. That said, I mean, it's definitely Tulane. I don't think is the best team ever. I think that they're definitely beatable, even with USC having a backup quarterback in this. So definitely a tight one to think about. All right, next game, we got the LSU Purdue Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. We have multiple Cheez-It Bowls apparently. So that's interesting out there. On the Purdue side of things, Charlie Jones is going to the draft, and he's accepted a Senior Bowl invite. I don't know if he's opted out. I don't remember seeing anything on an opt-out. I think Aiden O'Connell is expected to opt out. I think Charlie Jones is expected to opt out as well. I think there's going to be quite a few opt-outs on the Purdue side of things here, which worry me. And then on the LSU side of things,
click the picks thing. I think there's a note in there about the opt-outs.
Okay, so we have new ones. So Dan Bach has posted that O'Connell, Durham, Charlie Jones, Trice have all opted out. So it's changed what he was originally talking about. So what's your thoughts in this game?
Yeah, it's a tough one to get. Like, I like the LSU side, but 14 is too much to me. I won't be. I don't have opinion on this game really. Like, I liked how LSU kind of played the second half of the season. I think they take care of business here, but 14.5 is tricky. Purdue still has some talent, but and LSU, like, I see them, like, getting up and just playing pretty conservative. So 14 seems fair. Like, I certainly wouldn't be backing Purdue here.
Yeah, no, I would take LSU, but I might stay away from it. LSU's returning everyone, though. So, like, I think that it's an okay situation to go for. All right, last bowl game we have. the Penn State Nittany Lions against Utah in the Rose Bowl. I would lean Penn State here. I think Penn State just is the better team. They have enough guys that want to win this game. They are going to be without Parker Washington, and Joey Porter Jr. is opting out. I think he was injured, and that's why he probably wasn't going to play. Or no, Parker Washington was injured. Parker Washington was injured, so he wasn't available, and then Joey Porter Jr. opted out. I still think Penn State's just a better team here than Utah. I think the Penn State closing down the stretch was better for the most part. Utah's best offensive player, Dalton Kincaid, is gone. He will not play in this game. Their best running back, Tavian Thomas, will not play in this game. So I just think I prefer Penn State. I would probably take Penn State money line. I'd probably take some Penn State alt lines as well. What's your thoughts here in the Rose Bowl?
I'm surprised it's at 2.5, actually. I do think Penn State's the better team, and they had outs this year to actually make like a playoff run. It just didn't kind of swing their way. So I agree with you on your boys. Utah's a team I backed heavy before the season, but they haven't quite lived up to my expectations. They had a few stumble points that weren't great. Wasn't the season Tavian Thomas was hoping to have either. I just think Penn State's in better shape for this game. I do have one last question for you. I think we both think it's going to be Georgia-Michigan in the final, and I think Georgia would be favored by a field goal there. What do you think about Georgia-Michigan with Georgia laying 3 in the championship?
I would probably take Georgia laying 3, but I do think Michigan's better suited to handle that game than they were previous years. They have a bit more of I'm not going to say dynamic offense because it's really not dynamic, but they have a bit more of an offensive ability through the air than they have previously.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good final, and I think that's what we're headed towards. I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us. We hope you guys enjoyed our content this year. If you guys are watching, please like and subscribe on the YouTube for us to come back next year and do stuff. We appreciate all of you guys watching and supporting us as well. We hope we are able to help you guys win some money over the course of the year. For Alex, I'm Sean. Good luck, everyone, the rest of the way. We'll see you guys next year.